Blimey, all this time, and I learnt, had it down pat, can recite it in my sleep now, the old website of Ming Hansen. Then we come up with a new one. Hi, Ming.
Hi.
Sorry, I wasn't meaning to talk behind your back.
No.
What's your new website, by the way?
mingjohansen.com.au.
Okay, Ming.
.com.au. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you say Joe, but I happen to know it's Scandinavian, so the J would be pronounced as a Y.
Yes. Yes, it is. I say Joe because otherwise people will spell it with a Y.
Oh, okay.
The amount of times that my surname gets spelled incorrectly is quite often.
We are kindred spirits. You do realise that my surname
Yes.
is never spelt correctly
Yes. Yes, I do know that.
either. In my next life, I'm going to be Jones.
I feel like I'm going to be a Smith.
Yeah, or a Brown.
Or a Brown.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be one of them. I
what's
do
your
love my name, but yes, it comes with complications.
it does.
So I get Johansson Johannesson, so with all the double letters.
Yes.
It was originally Johannesson before World War II, but the Australian government imprisoned my great-grandfather for being an illegal immigrant during World War II because he was Swedish.
But hang on, Sweden was neutral.
Yes, they were, but they were also selling ball bearings to everyone, including the enemy.
Playing both sides.
Yeah, they
against the
played
middle.
both sides. Yeah, so
we can make money from both sides. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't we?
No, we
It's
like
IKEA.
you too.
It's the IKEA method. So,
Don't knock the IKEA method. It works.
I like the IKEA method.
And you know what you do? You create a place that lots of people, especially husbands, are going to hate. Then you create the best meatballs in the world, and all is forgiven. How smart was? What was his name? Ingvar. Oh God, what was his surname? He only died recently. The fellow who started IKEA
I don't think I could have ever
made himself
pronounced
a
it.
squillion dollars. It's unbelievable.
So I'm just letting people know we are on Facebook Live on the Perth Tonight Facebook page tonight. So hello for everybody that's online. And so if you want to ask any questions on the Facebook page whilst we're live, you can.
Okay. Oh, goodness me. Now, Ming, what are you and I going to talk about? Oh, Facebook. Yes.
That social media thing that we talk about.
Yeah, but my God.
Yep.
Yeah, go on.
It's a bit tiresome, isn't it?
Yes. Only because there seems to be things like, for example, information that's been compromised.
Yes.
On Facebook, although I understand to their credit, they stopped the problem getting out of hand,
Very
identified
quickly.
the source of the problem and plugged the hole, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it still frustrates the hell out of people.
Yeah. So there were about 50 million people that were all logged out of their account. I was one of them last week.
What did it do? Just throw you out, did it?
Yeah, so they basically logged me out of all devices that I was logged into, which in my case is quite a lot of devices. And
Did you remember all of them? I mean, once you got logged out, was it a real problem for you?
yeah, no. So I came across a few devices that I use, but I use in my workplace that weren't logged back in. So that's been something that we've been going through all week. And essentially, what happened was the security tokens that remember that you logged in on these devices were compromised. And they were compromised for 50 million users, which only takes up, like, just for perspective, that's actually about 2% of the user base of Facebook. So it's not, like, that's a large number, but it's not all of the users on Facebook. So if you weren't logged out of Facebook, you're one of the lucky ones. And
mind you, 50 million would be a drop in the ocean for Facebook, wouldn't
yes. Yeah, at this point, yes. And one of the things was, so it was a security flaw through the view as function on your Facebook profile. So some of us who want to see how our Facebook looks like to the public or to a certain friend or to a certain ex-boyfriend or to certain types of people, you want to check what's actually showing.
Well, actually, can I interrupt there? You said something about a certain ex-boyfriend. Would you not logically block certain ex-boyfriends?
Well, that's the point, is you want to actually check that it has been blocked and that it is, or ex-girlfriend, either or, so that they can't see what's going on your social profile, because you don't, I know that I've certainly had friends who've had stalkers, And that's a worrisome situation. So you don't necessarily want them to know your whereabouts or where you've checked in to have coffee or so that view as...
Why do we find that need to do, check in to have a cup of coffee? Seriously, I am waiting, and I'm only half joking when I say this, I am waiting to read on somebody's Facebook page that so-and-so is currently on the toilet. I mean, really, I think we have almost... We're not quite there yet, I will concede, but I figure we will get there. I look at some of this stuff, they are all having a cup of coffee together. Well, why are you posting this to social media? Why don't you have the cup of coffee together? Yeah,
I admit that I have taken less photos of coffee now, and one of my rules now with all of my social media photos is that there has to be people in them. Especially because I use the on this day function where you look back on your past and all the things that you used to post, 7 years ago and 6 years ago on this day. And I quite like that function because it just sort of demonstrates how much I've grown up since I've been on Facebook. I was really a child when I first started on Facebook, and thankfully I've evolved a little bit. But now I've realised that if I'm taking photos, I want to take photos of my friends and my family and look back on those memories rather than a photo of another coffee.
Yeah.
Or a photo of my breakfast or a photo of...
Yeah, here is a photograph. We must find... I've got to do this during the break. We must find this.
Yeah.
I'll find it. We'll share it with you in a moment. Hang on a sec. Yeah, Ming's going to think I'm a really, really weird guy.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, you are. On this one, you so are going to think I'm weird. This, apparently, is what they call the greatest regret that a person would have. I want to paint a picture here. This one comes from the Tracy Ullman show in the UK. And this is what she imagines a dying woman would say was her greatest regret as she is on her deathbed preparing to meet her maker. Let's have a listen.
Can we turn the audio?
I've had a lucky life, but there's something I really regret.
Oh, Mum, there's nothing to regret.
I really wish I'd taken more pictures of my lunch and put them online. Chicken chips, take a picture, put it online. Tuna salad, take a picture, put it online. Packet of crisps and an apple, take a picture, put it online. I always thought there'd be another day to show people what I was about to eat.
I love it. That's fantastic. That's hilarious. Yeah, I wish I took more photos of my lunch. Yep. Deep down.
Yeah, it's all about that, isn't it?
Yes. No, it's not all about that. No, don't do that. No more pictures of lunch. We don't need any more photos of lunch.
It's funny how people really get into doing that kind of stuff, though, isn't it? That it almost becomes all-consuming. I mean, at what point do we just say, hey, we interact with each other on social media in the same way that we would socialise, but people share stuff on social media that they would not share, in some cases, with their best friend.
So I think we have a natural evolution in our social media journey where we kind of go a little gung-ho online when we're first released into the wild of the internet. And so we kind of share everything and anything, or the complete polarizing opposite where we share nothing and we just lurk and watch everybody else. And I think for the people who do go all in and just interact and engage with literally everything and anything, even to the point of outrage fatigue when it comes to things like Trump. We have then this evolution point where we pull back and go, you know what, I'm getting really anxious and really upset and I'm really a bit over it. And then people will either quit the internet entirely or quit and delete all their social media apps and all of that. And then they realise that they're not getting invited to any of the parties because that's what we use to organise all of our events now.
Nobody sends out written invitations anymore.
No.
What about wedding invitations? Are they all sent out on apps and that?
I 100% have been invited to weddings via Facebook events without a physical invite. That is 100% a thing that has happened to me.
I wondered about stuff like that, whether the traditions remain. So the short answer is that we're starting to move to that online.
Well, see, I can't
come to your wedding. You didn't invite me. Yes, I did. It's not my fault you didn't check your Facebook
it's on
page.
Facebook. Why didn't you check Facebook? Yeah, that's a thing.
Actually, when we talk about the whole security thing, which we were talking about with Facebook, what are some of the obvious things that people can do? Because sometimes, let's face it, some people's Facebook pages are so lax when it comes to security, you can not be their friend and still see everything their friends can.
Yeah, that's a thing. So I guess a couple of the basics is make sure that you've got your friends list secure.
Yes.
So I just say hide it and only show your friends list to yourself. Nobody else needs to know who you're friends with. Nobody else needs to know that.
Yep.
Why would I need to know that? So, and I can see from people's comments who you may or may not be friends with anyway. But the reality is, when your friends list is, and it's quite often it's public and people don't realise, my account will more likely be hacked if my friends list is public, because the hackers will copy my profile and then they'll copy my friends list and then they'll try to scam all of my friends, pleading poor or pleading that I'm stuck in another country. So that one's probably one of the first and foremost things that we get people to secure is their friends list. The second thing is also with your family relationships. You don't really need to share that publicly. You can actually keep that again to your friends only. In terms of your security of your profile, you don't need to show your year of birth. So a lot of people will share their entire birthday.
Day and month is fine. So
day and month is fine.
Saying the 5th of October is fine. You don't have to say the 5th of October 1971 or anything.
Yeah. Yep. So, if you want those birthday wishes on Facebook, then day and month is fine. You don't need the year. Things like also just checking how your posts are sharing. So you and I are very similar in this, where we actually just share everything that we put online publicly because we both work in the public media field, and so that's sort of how we share our content anyway. So I think the question is don't ever write anything in messages or on posts that you wouldn't be willing to stand up in court for.
Ah, good. Yeah, very good.
Because everything can be taken a screenshot of, even emails. Like, people think that if they have a privacy clause on their emails that protects them.
Have you ever seen people do that?
All the time. Yeah. Yep, all the time. If you say something that is discriminating or defamation and it's in a private message, it can be used against you.
And it will be.
Used against you. So don't say things on the internet that you wouldn't willingly stand up in court and say.
Oh, that's a good one. And have you've seen those clauses that people have put up there?
Yeah. Yeah, all the time.
I got abused by somebody for saying it doesn't matter what you're doing, you can't get away with that.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm sorry, you can't just say, I say you can't do this, because you actually agreed to do it the moment you said you were going to join Facebook. Except you never bothered to check that bit.
So Jason's asked a question. It's actually a really good one. Can you educate the public on how to follow a post without using the letter F?
Okay.
So a lot of the time people will comment on a post in order to get the notifications for that post, instead of typing the letter F and adding more comments that are maybe a little unnecessary, although I understand why people do it. But yeah, no, in the top right-hand corner of every post on Facebook, there is an option where you can follow the post or you can get notifications. So there's a little option that says turn on notifications for this post, and it'll give you notifications without you having to type in the letter F to follow the post. But I think some people will do the comment because it's easier, because they don't have to click on more buttons.
It's all about making it simpler, really, isn't it? That's all they're trying to do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Does make it a lot simpler. But then again,
good question, Jason.
Yeah, it's a very good question. As always, Ming, much appreciated. We're going to refine this process.
Yes, we are.
Over the next few weeks.
I'm going to get the audio right next time.
We'll get the audio and the whole bit, and it should be a bit of fun. Ben does it all the time. Make sure you check out because he does it all. And there's see that mic over there. He hangs the camera from there. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. But, yeah, it's all good stuff, so we appreciate that. We also appreciate the fact that you're giving us a bit of hand with our Perth Tonight Facebook page as well to manage that a bit better.
Of course.
That is much appreciated. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
See you then.
See you in a couple of weeks.
See you then.
See you in a couple of weeks.